They say the skin tells the story of our life. Every wrinkle is a memory, every line a reflection of years lived, of joys and also worries. And although the passage of time is inevitable, the desire to show a cared-for, luminous face full of vitality remains at every stage of life, even after 60 or 70. Imagine looking at yourself in the mirror and feeling that your skin looks softer, firmer, with a glow that reflects energy and well-being. That longing isn't a mere whim for eternal youth. It's an act of self-love. It's the willingness to keep caring for ourselves, to gift ourselves moments just for us, no matter our age. Now then, you've surely wondered at some point whether achieving this means investing large sums in costly creams or beauty treatments that promise miracles. But let me tell you something. Many times, the most powerful secrets are in what's simple, natural, and already within reach at home. And here comes the question that might spark your curiosity. What if I told you that with simple ingredients from your kitchen, you can reduce the appearance of wrinkles and restore firmness to your skin? It may sound surprising, but nature holds within it resources that help our body regenerate, and one of those treasures is collagen. Collagen is the protein that supports our skin's firmness and elasticity. As the years go by, its production decreases, and that's what makes way for sagging and expression lines. However, not all is lost. With certain natural ingredients, we can stimulate this protein and give our skin the support it needs. In this video, I'm going to reveal how to prepare a homemade collagen mask that not only softens wrinkles, but also restores hydration and firmness. I'll show you step by step how to make it, how to apply it correctly, and what results to expect. I'll also share the most common mistakes to avoid and a few extra tips to enhance its benefits. This will be your moment of care, a simple yet powerful ritual, so each application feels like a caress of youth upon your skin. And before we begin, I'd love to get to know you a bit more. Tell me in the comments how old you are and where you're watching from. That way we can share experiences, learn together, and create a community that celebrates the beauty of every stage of life. The power of collagen in our skin. When we talk about youth and vitality in the skin, we're almost always talking about collagen, even if we don't know it. Collagen is a natural protein our body produces abundantly in our early years. It's like an invisible net that supports our skin from within, giving it firmness, resilience, and elasticity. Thanks to that net, the skin stretches and snaps back, wounds heal better, and the face stays smooth for so long. But that wonderful net isn't eternal. From around 25, the body starts producing less collagen, and with each decade, the drop becomes more evident. It's a natural, inevitable process, as normal as the passage of time itself. And although we don't feel it immediately, little by little it shows in the mirror. The first expression lines, then more marked wrinkles. The skin becomes thinner and loses some of its luminosity. Imagine a new mattress, full of firm springs holding everything in balance. That's young skin, supported by strong collagen. Now, imagine that same mattress with weakened springs and some already worn out. The surface loses tension, dips and marks appear. That's what happens in our skin when collagen begins to run short. And it's not only about aesthetics. Collagen also plays vital roles in muscles, bones, tendons, and joints. In other words, caring for collagen is not just a beauty gesture. It's also an act of health and overall well-being. When there's less collagen, tissues become more fragile, skin injures easily, bones suffer, and joints hurt more. The truth is that no one can stop time. Collagen decline is something that will reach us all sooner or later. But here's the good news. Although we can't stop the clock, we can give our body and skin an extra boost. We can stimulate collagen production with natural ingredients, healthy habits, and care that doesn't require big spending or complicated routines. Collagen loss explains why the skin starts to show forehead wrinkles, lines around the eyes, grooves by the mouth, or sagging at the neck. It also explains why, over the years, the face can lose volume and the glow dims a bit. But we shouldn't see it as an enemy, but as a sign our body needs support. Collagen is, in short, the invisible foundation of strong, radiant skin. Understanding its role is the first step toward a mindful care routine. Because although we can't stop time, we can help our skin stay strong, firm, and alive. Natural ingredients that stimulate collagen. Nature has always had the answer before any laboratory. What's sold today in costly jars with shiny labels often already sits in our kitchen or garden. And the best part is that, besides being accessible, these ingredients are safe, simple to use, and don't overload the skin with unnecessary chemicals. One of the most powerful is honey. Honey is a treasure gifted by bees that not only nourishes the body from within, it also does so from without. It's a natural humectant, able to attract and retain moisture in the skin. When combined with other ingredients, it boosts cell regeneration and helps soften fine lines, leaving the face with a more even, luminous texture. Egg white is another surprising ally. Since ancient times, it's been used to tighten the skin immediately. When applied, it dries quickly, forming a film that stretches the surface, giving a temporary firming effect. But it's also composed of proteins that nourish and strengthen tissues, helping reinforce the structure that supports the skin. Unflavored gelatin deserves a special place on this list because it's basically collagen in its simplest form. When hydrated and applied as a mask, it becomes a direct tool to provide support and elasticity. It's like giving back to the skin a bit of what it's been losing over the years. Cucumber, fresh and light, is perfect for hydrating and soothing. It contains antioxidants and vitamin C, a key nutrient to stimulate the body's natural collagen production. Its refreshing effect helps deflate, reduce under-eye puffiness, and give the face a rested look. Aloe vera, for its part, is known as the plant of the skin. Its gel is packed with vitamins, minerals, and regenerating compounds. Applied directly, it deeply hydrates, speeds healing, and favors cell renewal. It also improves skin elasticity, a key factor when we want to soften wrinkles. Finally, coconut oil, rich in fatty acids, nourishes and protects. Its ability to penetrate the deeper layers of the skin makes it an excellent moisturizer. It helps reduce dryness, which tends to accentuate the appearance of wrinkles, and provides a natural barrier against external aggressions. If we bring all these ingredients together, we have a complete anti-aging arsenal without needing to spend a fortune on imported creams. While many commercial products add fragrances and preservatives that can irritate, here everything is pure, fresh, and straight from nature. The main difference is that homemade care doesn't promise instant miracles, but progressive, real, and sustainable results. With consistency, the skin begins to show changes, more hydration, less sagging, and a sense of vitality that goes beyond the surface. These natural ingredients remind us that care doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. What's valuable is often simple, and with them, each mask becomes an act of kindness toward oneself, a ritual that blends natural science with tradition. Mask preparation. Before starting, think of this as a small care ritual. The calm with which you prepare your mask will also be reflected in your skin. Find a clean, well-lit table and gather everything you need so you don't interrupt the process. First, hygiene. Wash your hands well with warm water and soap. Rinse and dry. Use a glass or ceramic bowl, a wooden or silicone spoon or spatula, and if you can, a clean brush for application afterward. Avoid metal containers if you're going to use aloe, honey, or gelatin. Glass and ceramic preserve properties better. Make sure everything is perfectly clean and dry. Now, the base of the homemade collagen mask. This base is gentle, hydrating, and easy to adapt to your skin type. Step 1. Hydrate the unflavored gelatin. Place a small tablespoon of gelatin in the bowl and add a few tablespoons of warm water, just enough to cover it. Let it hydrate a few minutes until it thickens. If you notice lumps, warm it in a double boiler briefly and mix patiently until you achieve a uniform consistency, warm and pleasant to the touch, never hot. And Step 2. Add the fresh actives. Stir in a tablespoon of honey and mix to combine. Then add 2 tablespoons of natural aloe vera gel. If you use gel extracted from the leaf, carefully remove the yellowish part to avoid irritation and mix only the clear gel. Integrate everything with slow movements, as if whipping a cream. Step 3. Refresh and tighten. Grate or blend a small piece of cucumber and strain the juice with cheesecloth or a fine sieve. Add a splash to the mixture, just enough to bring freshness without making it too runny. If it turns too fluid, add a pinch of already hydrated gelatin until it regains body. Step 4. The nourishing touch. For skin needing extra softness, add a teaspoon of melted coconut oil, just warm. Mix slowly until the mask is creamy and homogeneous. If your skin tolerates egg white and you want an immediate tightening effect, you can beat one white until foamy and fold a couple of tablespoons into the mixture. Do this at the end and without overmixing so you don't break the structure. Remember, the white is optional and must be used fresh with maximum hygiene. From this base, adjust according to your skin type. Dry, very mature skin. Reinforce the honey with an extra teaspoon and keep the coconut oil. You may add a drop of almond oil if tolerated. Texture should be creamy, dense, and comfortable. Combination or oily skin. Skip the coconut oil. Use more cucumber juice and a portion of egg white. If you wish, add a few drops of well-strained lemon, only if your skin isn't sensitive. Mix until you get a light cream that doesn't drip. Sensitive or reactive skin, avoid egg white, lemon, and excess gelatin. Stick to aloe, honey, and a bit of cucumber. Aim for a soft, almost gel-like consistency that soothes without tightening. Before applying to the face, do a tolerance test. Place a small amount behind the ear or on the inner wrist and wait a while. If there's no itching, marked redness, or burning, you can continue. This little test saves discomfort and gives confidence. Some important warnings. If you have a known egg allergy, avoid the white. If aloe has irritated you before, use trusted pure aloe gel or replace it with a bit more honey and cucumber. Don't add artificial fragrances or strong essential oils as they can sensitize. Don't overheat the mixture. High heat can alter the gelatin and reduce its effect. Keep the mask away from the eye and lip areas. When you finish, check the texture. It should be a creamy gel, easy to spread, that doesn't drip. If it's too thick, loosen with a few drops of warm water or more cucumber juice. If it's liquid, add a pinch of hydrated gelatin and mix again. You can place the bowl in the fridge for a few minutes to set and be more refreshing on application. If for any reason you have leftovers, store them in a very clean glass jar with a lid in the refrigerator. Use promptly to ensure freshness. If you notice changes in smell, color, or texture, discard it. Remember, homemade is alive and thus its shelf life is short. With this preparation, you now have a noble, adjustable base that's kind to the skin. A mask that unites hydration, softness, and real support for firmness, ready for the next step: mindful application. Because we can't stop time, but we can help our skin stay strong through the simplicity and care of each gesture. How to apply it correctly. Pre-prep is as important as the mask itself. Before applying, spend a few minutes getting your skin ready to receive nutrients better. Start with a gentle cleanse using a neutral facial soap or a gel cleanser appropriate for your skin type. Remove all traces of makeup, dust, or oil built up during the day. Clean skin is like a blank canvas, ready to absorb the best of what you'll give it. After cleansing, you can apply a bit of steam to the face. You don't need a fancy device, just heat water in a pot, turn off the heat, and carefully bring your face closer, keeping distance to avoid burns. Place a towel over your head to concentrate the steam for a few minutes. This will open pores and allow the mask's actives to penetrate more deeply. A light exfoliation can also help, but do it only once a week and gently. It can be fine sugar mixed with honey or ground oats. The goal is to remove dead cells and leave skin receptive, never irritated. Remember, exfoliation should feel like a delicate massage, not a rough scrub. When it's time to apply the mask, you can do it in different ways. A clean brush will give you an even application and keep you from touching your face too much with your hands. If you prefer, you can also use a facial sponge or even your fingers, always well washed. Spread the mask with upward strokes from the chin upward and from the center of the face outward. Avoid the eye and lip contours, delicate areas that can easily get irritated. The amount should be generous, but not so much that it drips. Aim for an even layer that covers the whole surface well. Once applied, relax. Sit or lie down and let the mixture work. The recommended time is 15 to 20 minutes. More time doesn't mean better results. On the contrary, it could dry the skin or cause discomfort. The ideal frequency is twice a week for mature, dry skin and once a week for sensitive or oily skin. Consistency matters more than overdoing it. Regular care, without excess, is what brings visible changes over time. When removing, don't use harsh soaps. Rinse with lukewarm water using gentle circular motions until all the mask is gone. Then, pat the face dry with a clean towel. Never rub. Finish by applying your usual moisturizer to seal in moisture and prolong the effect. Common mistakes to avoid: don't leave it on longer than recommended, don't apply too close to the eyes, don't use ingredients you haven't patch tested, and don't prepare it with dirty utensils. These details make the difference between a positive result and a bad experience. Applying a homemade mask is more than a beauty gesture. It's an act of pause, of mindful care, a moment for you. If you do it calmly and with dedication, you'll notice not only your skin transforms, your mood does too. Visible and scientific benefits. The first time you use this mask, you'll notice an immediate change. The skin will feel fresher, softer to the touch, and with a different glow. It's as if it suddenly regained vitality. The tightening effect of egg white, combined with the deep hydration of aloe vera and honey, creates a sense of firmness you can feel from the first application. With consistent use, the benefits compound. After a few weeks, fine wrinkles may soften and the skin regain elasticity. Deep hydration makes the face look more rested and more even-toned. Gelatin provides collagen directly, helping strengthen the skin's structure. Cucumber refreshes and reduces inflammation, decreasing puffiness and redness, and coconut oil nourishes long-lastingly, avoiding the dryness that accentuates wrinkles. Science backs these effects. Simple studies have shown that vitamin C present in cucumber and aloe stimulates collagen synthesis. Research also indicates that honey acts as a natural antioxidant, protecting the skin from free radical damage, one of the main factors in aging. Aloe vera, for its part, contains compounds that speed cell regeneration and improve elasticity. The results aren't miraculous or instantaneous as some commercial products promise, but they are real and sustainable. The secret lies in consistency. Just as exercise strengthens muscles over time, regular care with natural ingredients strengthens and rejuvenates the skin step by step. Imagine a 70-year-old woman who decides to incorporate this mask into her routine twice a week. At first, she feels immediate freshness and softness. After a month, her skin looks more hydrated and with fewer marked lines on the forehead and around the eyes. What she notices most isn't just the physical change, but how she regains confidence when she looks in the mirror and sees she can still care for herself naturally and effectively. Older men have also found an ally in this practice. One of them reported that after several weeks, his skin stopped feeling tight and dry after shaving. He discovered that a home remedy could give him more comfort than many expensive creams he had bought before. In short, this mask not only softens wrinkles and adds firmness, it also gives back something deeper, the feeling that we still have power over our well-being. Because skincare isn't vanity, it's health, self-esteem, and quality of life. Common mistakes that ruin the result. Sometimes even the best natural remedies can lose effectiveness if we make small mistakes. The homemade collagen mask is simple, but it requires care and consistency to bear fruit. Let's go over some of the most common pitfalls that ruin the result, so you know how to avoid them from the start. The first and most frequent is using old or low-quality ingredients. It may seem minor, but it isn't. Honey that's been open for months and lost part of its properties, a wilted cucumber, or aloe with damaged leaves won't offer the same benefits as fresh, living ingredients. The skin is the body's largest organ, and what you put on it matters. If you want the mask to be effective, invest in good-sourced products and use them fresh. The second mistake is not respecting the frequency of application. Some think using it every day will bring faster results, but the truth is, the skin also needs to breathe and regenerate at its own pace. Excessive application can dry out, cause irritation, or simply make the skin get used to it, reducing effect. Remember, what matters is moderate consistency, not excess. Once or twice a week is more than enough. Another mistake is relying solely on the mask without pairing it with good nutrition. Collagen doesn't generate just from what we put on the skin, it also depends on what we give the body from within. A diet poor in proteins, vitamins, and minerals will greatly limit results. It's like trying to fill a well while letting the water leak out below. The mask acts on the surface, but it needs internal support for effects to be visible and lasting. Finally, one of the biggest mistakes is neglecting lifestyle habits. It's useless to apply masks diligently if at the same time you don't sleep enough, you smoke, you overuse alcohol, or you expose yourself to the sun without protection. Skin reflects our lifestyle. Rest, hydration, movement, and emotional calm are inseparable allies of collagen. These mistakes aren't meant to scare you, but to remind you that true care is integral. The mask is a wonderful tool, but it needs a favorable environment. When you combine fresh ingredients, proper consistency, good nutrition, and healthy habits, the result is far more powerful than the sum of the parts. And that's the real magic of natural care. It works when we embrace life in its entirety. Natural complements for firm skin. Skincare doesn't end with the mask. For deeper, longer-lasting effects, it's important to pair it with simple practices that reinforce collagen from inside and out. These natural complements enhance results and help you maintain firm, luminous, healthy skin. Let's start with nutrition. Foods rich in vitamin C are essential because they stimulate natural collagen production. Citrus like orange, lemon, and mandarin, but also kiwi, papaya, and berries, are powerful allies. Vitamin C acts as a bridge that allows the body to manufacture collagen more efficiently. Omega-3 is another great complement. Found in fish like salmon, in chia and flax seeds, and in walnuts, it helps keep skin hydrated and reduces inflammation. Essential fatty acids are like natural lubricants for cell membranes, which translates into softer, more resilient skin. Proteins also play a fundamental role. Lean meats, eggs, legumes, and dairy provide the amino acids needed to build collagen. Remember, this protein doesn't appear out of nowhere. The body makes it from the nutrients it receives. Hydration is another indispensable pillar. It's not enough to apply creams or masks. You need to drink enough water throughout the day. Herbal teas like chamomile or green tea are also good options because they provide antioxidants and help eliminate toxins. Well-hydrated skin from within shows on the surface. It looks more elastic and with fewer expression lines. There are also small facial exercises that can make a difference. Simple movements like puffing out the cheeks, pronouncing vowels exaggeratedly, or gently massaging the forehead and neck help tone facial muscles. These exercises stimulate circulation and prevent sagging. Just a few minutes a day are enough to feel the effect. Lastly, we can't forget the importance of rest and relaxation. Sleeping well is when the body repairs tissues and produces more collagen. Stress, on the other hand, releases hormones that accelerate aging. Practicing deep breathing, light meditation, or simply gifting yourself a quiet moment can work wonders not only for your mood, but also for your skin. Together, these complements turn the mask into part of a conscious, balanced lifestyle. Nutrient-rich food, proper hydration, simple exercises, and restorative rest are the true pillars of firm, radiant skin. The mask is the spark, but these habits are the fire that keeps your skin's vitality lit over time. Nothing inspires more confidence than the experiences of other people who, like us, decided to try natural care and discovered a real change in their skin and self-esteem. Clara, a 70-year-old woman, had long felt insecure in front of the mirror. The wrinkles around her lips and the sagging in her neck reminded her daily of time's passage. Though she'd tried expensive creams, she didn't see significant results. One of her granddaughters told her about homemade masks, and with a bit of skepticism, she began preparing them twice a week. At first, she noticed freshness and softness, nothing more. But after a month, Clara began to perceive that her skin was more luminous and that fine lines were less visible. Most important was that she regained confidence in herself. She went back to putting on makeup with excitement, going out with friends without overthinking her appearance, and above all, looking in the mirror with pride. She herself said, "I don't look 20 years younger. I look how I want to look, cared for and alive." 75-year-old Ernesto's case is also inspiring. For a long time, he avoided social gatherings because he felt his skin was dull, dry, and spotty. One day, he decided to try the homemade collagen mask, not out of vanity, but because he wanted to feel more comfortable in his own skin. After several weeks of consistent use, he noticed that redness had decreased and the texture was more even. That small change gave him back confidence. He returned to family dinners, to meetings with friends, and discovered that caring for oneself wasn't about age, but about self-esteem. Ernesto confessed, "What changed me most wasn't my skin. It was how I looked at myself. I felt it was still worth investing in me." Stories like Clara's and Ernesto's show us that natural care goes beyond aesthetics. It's a way to reconnect with ourselves, to gift ourselves time, and to remember it's never too late to feel good in our own skin. The power of caring for yourself naturally. In a world where advertising bombards us with miracle products at exorbitant prices, stopping to prepare a mask with our own hands is almost an act of rebellion. The difference between spending on expensive cosmetics and caring with what's natural isn't only in the wallet, it's also in the experience. A sleek bottle can promise eternal youth, but many times it contains more chemicals and preservatives than beneficial ingredients. In contrast, when we take fresh honey, freshly cut cucumber, or aloe gel straight from the plant, we know what we're putting on our skin. There are no secrets, no artificial add-ons, just the purity of the natural. Preparing your own remedy also awakens a sense of autonomy. You don't depend on what a brand says or on what's available in a store. With your hands, you can create a treatment that works, tailored to your needs with simple, familiar ingredients. That independence has enormous value. Caring for yourself naturally is also an expression of self-love. It's time you dedicate to yourself, a gesture that says, "I matter, I deserve attention, I deserve to feel good." And when you do it consistently, you notice the transformation isn't only external, it's internal too. It's not about erasing the passage of time, but about embracing it with dignity, softening its traces, and highlighting the best in you. Nature teaches us to respect processes. Results don't show from one day to the next, but they arrive authentically and lastingly. And most importantly, they come with a personal satisfaction no store-bought jar can give. Because in the end, what counts isn't only how your skin looks, but how you feel when you care for it. We've traveled a complete path to discover how a homemade collagen mask can help you soften wrinkles and restore firmness to your skin. We talked about what collagen is and why it's so important for elasticity. We got to know the natural ingredients that stimulate it. We learned step by step how to prepare and apply the mask. We explored visible benefits, the mistakes you should avoid, and the habits that complement this care. We even heard inspiring stories of people who found in the natural not only beauty, but also confidence and well-being. The main message is clear. It's never too late to care for yourself. It's never too late to give your skin hydration, firmness, and vitality. It's never too late to look in the mirror with pride and smile at the person you are today, with your story, your experiences, and your strength. Remember that true power doesn't lie in stopping time, but in accompanying it wisely. Natural collagen, the right foods, hydration, rest, and simple routines are tools within your reach to keep shining at every stage of your life. Before saying goodbye, I want to invite you to share your experience. Tell me in the comments how old you are and where you're watching from. I'd love to read you and know how you're living your own care journey. And if you like this content, subscribe, turn on the bell, and share this video with those you think could benefit from these tips. Never forget that skincare isn't vanity. It's health, self-esteem, and self-love. Because it's never too late to care for your skin, your health, and your happiness. What foggy mind means. A few years ago, I met a 78-year-old woman named Teresa. She was a cheerful person, always active, and she had the habit of carrying a small notebook where she wrote down important things. One day, while we were talking in the park, she confessed something that worried her. "I go blank more times than I'd like. Sometimes I go to the kitchen and don't remember what I was going to get, or I stop in the middle of a sentence not knowing what I was going to say. Those kinds of episodes may seem like simple slips, but when they start repeating frequently, they generate fear. Teresa began to think she might be entering an irreversible stage of decline. What she didn't know was that, in many cases, that mental fog isn't about age alone, but about a silent deficiency that goes unnoticed for years. The truth is that our brain, like an engine, needs quality fuel to function. And sometimes, even when we believe we're well fed, a key piece is missing. That piece can be a vitamin that doesn't get the attention it deserves and whose absence turns a clear mind into a clouded one. Most surprising is that this deficit is confused with typical signs of aging, and that's why thousands of older people never receive the correct diagnosis. In this video, we're going to talk about that particular vitamin, why it's so essential to maintaining memory and clarity, what symptoms should put you on alert, and the ways you can protect your mind before it's too late. We'll see how to detect it, how to prevent damage, and which habits can help you regain energy and lucidity, even in your later years. If you've ever felt your thoughts slow down, words slip from your mouth, or your memory just isn't the same, stay with me. This journey isn't only about medical information, but about hope, because there are simple solutions that can make an enormous difference in quality of life. Before we begin, I want to get to know you a little more. Tell me in the comments how old you are and where you're watching from. That way, I'll know who's joining me in this conversation, and we can build together a community of people who want to age with dignity, wisdom, and mental clarity. What foggy mind means. Not long ago, I spoke with a 70-year-old man named Manuel. He'd always been an organized person with enviable memory. His friends called him the living agenda because he never forgot a birthday or a phone number. However, in recent years, he began to notice something that troubled him. At family gatherings, he mixed up one grandchild's name with another's, or he'd stare at the table trying to remember where he'd left his glasses just minutes before. Those kinds of situations are common, and many attribute them to the simple passage of time. But what Manuel felt was different. It wasn't just an occasional slip, but a constant fog that enveloped him. He woke with a heavy mind, struggled to focus on simple reading, and even writing a shopping list felt difficult. When we talk about a foggy mind, we mean precisely that. A persistent sensation of mental slowness, difficulty ordering thoughts, and frequent forgetfulness that affects daily life. It's not the same as confusing an isolated detail, as we all do at any stage of life. It's more like feeling disconnected, as if your head no longer responds with the clarity it once had. It's important to distinguish between what can be considered normal aging and what could be a warning sign. With age, it's logical for processing speed to slow a little. Remembering a name may take a few more seconds, or we may need to jot certain things down so we don't forget. That's part of the natural aging process. What's not normal is when that lack of memory becomes a daily obstacle. When someone forgets entire conversations, repeats the same question several times in a short span, or gets lost in familiar places. Nor is it normal for concentration to crumble to the point of being unable to follow a conversation or read a page without losing the thread. In Manuel's case, he knew something wasn't right because, in addition to forgetfulness, he felt his mental energy drain quickly. He used to enjoy doing crosswords and now abandoned them halfway. He used to drive confidently. Now he felt unsure remembering directions. That difference between his usual ability and what he lived at that moment was the signal that pushed him to seek answers. Though many normalize it, a foggy mind can be a warning. It can reflect that the brain lacks an essential nutrient, or that there's an imbalance worth addressing as soon as possible. Letting it pass under the idea that it's an age thing can delay a simple diagnosis and a solution within reach. That's why we talk about this topic with the seriousness it deserves. A foggy mind isn't a whim or an exaggeration. It's a symptom worthy of attention. Recognizing it in time can make the difference between living fully or resigning yourself to a life of confusion and mental fatigue. And here arises the key question: what really makes the mind fog up? Is it just a matter of years, or is there a hidden cause we can treat? That's the search we'll follow in this video, Because behind that mental fog, there's a factor that often goes unnoticed, and discovering it can completely change an older person's life. The role of vitamins in the brain. When we think about brain health, the first things that usually come to mind are neurons, memory, or emotions. However, we rarely stop to consider that this extraordinary organ, which controls every thought and movement, also depends on something as basic as nutrition. Just as the heart needs blood to beat and muscles require energy to move, the brain needs a constant supply of nutrients, and among them, vitamins play a fundamental role. We can imagine the brain as a sophisticated machine, one of the most complex in the known universe. No car, however expensive, would run on adulterated fuel. If we put low-quality gasoline in it, sooner or later it stalls, fails, or breaks. The same happens with the mind. It needs quality fuel, and that fuel includes specific vitamins that feed the nervous system. Vitamins act like tiny, invisible pieces that allow neural connections to function without interruption. Without them, the electrical messages that run through the brain and travel throughout the body become slow, confused, or even get lost along the way. This explains why, when an essential vitamin is lacking, symptoms as varied as fatigue, irritability, poor concentration, or frequent forgetfulness appear. There are several vitamins directly related to mental clarity. For example, vitamin D, known as the sun vitamin, influences mood and memory. Vitamin E, with its antioxidant power, protects neurons from premature wear. And a very important group, the B-complex vitamins, are responsible for producing energy and keeping the brain's chemical processes stable. Among them all, one holds a special place because it's directly related to the formation of red blood cells and to the protection of the sheaths that cover nerves. Its absence can transform a lucid person into someone trapped in a permanent mental cloud. That's the vitamin we'll discuss in depth in the next parts of this video, because knowing it and keeping it at adequate levels can mark the difference between aging with fullness or a life of confusion and forgetfulness. To understand it better, think about what happens when any of these substances are lacking. A person with vitamin D deficiency can feel tired and discouraged, affecting their motivation to socialize and their ability to concentrate. Someone with low vitamin E may experience faster memory decline as neurons are less protected against damage. And those lacking enough B vitamins, especially the one we'll soon reveal, can suffer everything from tingling in hands and feet to balance problems and memory loss. These aren't mere medical anecdotes. They're realities thousands live daily without knowing the cause is on their plate, in their blood, and in the tiny nutrients that sometimes go unnoticed. That's why it's so important to talk about the role of vitamins in the brain, because they remind us that mental clarity doesn't depend solely on age, but on how we nourish the most valuable organ in our body. The key. Vitamin for mental clarity. After speaking about the importance of vitamins in general, it's time to reveal the protagonist of this story. It's vitamin B12, also known as cobalamin. Its name may sound technical, but its function is so vital that without it, the brain simply cannot stay in balance. Vitamin B12 fulfills three essential roles in our body. The first is the formation of red blood cells, those tiny cells that transport oxygen to every corner of the body and, above all, to the brain. When oxygen is lacking, the mind becomes slow, heavy, as if carrying a backpack full of invisible stones. The second role is the protection of neurons. Each nerve cell is covered by a kind of layer called the myelin sheath, which acts like the insulation of an electrical cable. Without that coating, signals scatter or get interrupted. Vitamin B12 keeps that layer strong and healthy, ensuring electrical impulses travel with speed and clarity. The third role is cellular energy production. B12 participates in chemical processes that allow each cell to generate the spark it needs to function. When there's a deficiency, fatigue appears even after a long rest, and the mind feels exhausted with no apparent explanation. To grasp this vitamin's magnitude, consider the story of Don Ernesto, an 81-year-old who came to his doctor with confusion, weakness, and memory loss. His family feared early dementia. However, A simple test revealed a severe vitamin B12 deficiency. After appropriate treatment, within weeks he began to regain energy and clarity. He could read his favorite newspaper without fatigue, remember his grandkids' birthdays, and even resume telling stories with a surprisingly clear memory. It wasn't a miracle or some strange trick. It was the result of giving the body what it had needed for a long time. And here it's worth pausing on a key phrase. It's not magic. It's science many people don't know. Thousands of older adults live with a foggy mind, believing it's an inevitable part of aging, when in reality, what's missing is this essential nutrient. Understanding vitamin B12's role opens a door of hope. We're not talking about stopping aging or promising the impossible, but about recognizing that mental clarity depends on small pieces that support the functioning of the entire nervous system. And one of those pieces, perhaps the most critical, is this vitamin. Symptoms of deficiency. One of the biggest problems with vitamin B12 deficiency is that its symptoms can seem vague and are easily confused with simple aging. However, when we listen carefully, they all tell the same story. The first symptom is usually constant tiredness. No matter how many hours one sleeps, the person wakes up without energy, as if they had run a marathon overnight. This exhaustion isn't only physical, it's mental too. Tasks that used to be simple, like reading a newspaper or following a conversation, become exhausting. The second symptom is frequent forgetfulness. It's not about occasional slips, but gaps that interrupt daily life. A 73-year-old woman named Carmen reported that she'd forget to turn on the stove after making coffee, or she'd repeat the same question to her daughter 3 times in the same morning. Her family began to worry about possible Alzheimer's, but what she really had was a B12 deficiency. To this we add mental confusion. People who used to manage with clarity start losing the thread of conversations, can't follow a movie, or feel disoriented in familiar places. In more severe cases, some experience sudden mood changes, irritability, sadness without apparent reason, or even total apathy. These emotional states are often interpreted as depression, when in reality, the brain is asking for help. Another revealing sign is difficulty walking. B12 deficit affects coordination and balance. A 79-year-old man named Julian, who used to go out walking every day, began tripping for no reason and feeling tingling in his legs. At first, he attributed it to age, but after a test, he discovered his B12 levels were dangerously low. The reason all these symptoms are confused with normal aging or even dementia is simple. They're too similar. But here, we must make a clear, firm warning. Sometimes it isn't Alzheimer's, it's a vitamin deficiency. Recognizing it in time can mean regaining lucidity and independence instead of resigning oneself to a life of forgetfulness and dependence. Who is most vulnerable? So who are the people most at risk of vitamin B12 deficiency? Although anyone can be affected, there are particularly vulnerable groups. First, adults over 60. Over time, the stomach produces less acid, and that acidity is necessary to release B12 from food. That's why, even if someone eats a balanced diet, their body may stop absorbing enough. This phenomenon explains why so many older adults develop symptoms without understanding where they come from. Another vulnerable group are those who follow very restrictive diets or strict vegetarian diets without medical supervision. Vitamin B12 is found mainly in animal products, meats, fish, eggs, and dairy. Those who completely eliminate these foods must seek alternatives or supplementation, otherwise levels drop quickly. People who take certain medications for long periods, such as antacids or proton pump inhibitors, are also at risk. These drugs reduce stomach acidity, preventing the vitamin from being released from food. The same can occur with some diabetes treatments. A clear example is Rosa, a 65-year-old woman who decided to follow a vegetarian diet without professional guidance. During the first years, she felt fine, but gradually began experiencing fatigue and forgetfulness. Her children thought it was normal aging until a doctor ordered a blood test. The result was clear. Her vitamin B12 levels were very low. After starting a supplementation plan, her energy and mental clarity improved notably. These cases show that deficiency isn't always the result of consciously poor eating. Sometimes it's age, other times it's medication, and in many cases it's simply lack of awareness. The important thing is to understand that everyone, especially those over 60, should pay attention to the signs and consult a professional. Long-term consequences. Vitamin B12 deficiency isn't a minor or passing issue. When not detected in time, its effects can leave permanent scars on the nervous system. Unlike other nutrients that are quickly replenished, lack of B12 can damage nerve fibers irreversibly. The first risk is permanent neurological damage. As the myelin sheath protecting nerves deteriorates, electrical impulses stop transmitting effectively. This translates into tingling, numbness, and clumsiness in movements. Over time, these alterations can turn into loss of sensation and coordination that no longer recover, even with treatment. Another silent danger is depression. The brain needs this vitamin to produce neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which regulate mood. When they're lacking, sadness, apathy, and discouragement appear. Many people are prescribed antidepressants without suspecting that what's really missing is a basic nutrient. There's also the risk of falls. Difficulty walking, imbalance, and leg weakness cause older adults to have frequent accidents. A simple fall can cause fractures and a loss of independence that changes life forever. Don Ricardo's case illustrates what happens when diagnosis is delayed too long. He was 77 when he began feeling constant tingling in his feet and increasingly frequent forgetfulness. His family took him to various doctors, and for almost 3 years they told him it was just age. When they finally tested vitamin B12, his levels were rock bottom. He received treatment, but part of the damage was already irreversible. He never fully regained feeling in his legs and needed a cane permanently. Here comes the harshest reflection. Not treating it can mean losing yourself. Because it's not only strength and balance that are lost, memories, relationships, and the autonomy that gives life meaning are lost too. The good news is that if detected in time, many of these consequences can be avoided, and for that, we must learn to recognize the signs and seek the right help. How to detect the deficiency. Detecting vitamin B12 deficiency isn't as complicated as it seems. The first step is paying attention to signals at home. Persistent fatigue, frequent forgetfulness, unexplained mood changes, tingling in hands or feet, and clumsiness when walking. These clues, however small they seem, are how the body calls for help. The second step is going to the doctor and asking for a simple blood test. A basic test can reveal B12 levels in the body and confirm whether there's a deficiency. It's not a complex or costly procedure, yet many people go years without having it done because both patients and professionals attribute symptoms to natural aging. It's important to know how to request this test. It's not enough to mention fatigue or memory loss, because the doctor might focus on other diagnoses. The advisable thing is to say clearly, "I've read about vitamin B12 deficiency, and I'd like to check my levels." That phrase can mark the difference between staying in the dark or finding the real cause. Mercedes's case is a good example. For more than 5 years, she suffered apathy, fatigue, and forgetfulness. She visited several doctors who diagnosed depression and prescribed different medications. Yet nothing changed. One day, a friend told her about vitamin B12 and convinced her to ask for a test. The result was revealing. Her levels were well below normal. With treatment, her vitality slowly returned, and she discovered she hadn't lost the active, enthusiastic woman she had always been. She was simply trapped behind an undiagnosed deficiency. Early detection is therefore the key. Paying attention to symptoms, requesting the test, and acting in time can prevent years of unnecessary suffering. And the best part is that a solution exists and is within reach. It only takes taking the step to ask and not settling for the explanation that it's just age. Foods rich in this vitamin. The good news is that in many cases, lack of vitamin B12 can be prevented with proper nutrition. This nutrient is found mainly in animal products, so it's important to know which are the richest and easiest to include in a daily diet. Among the main options are lean meats such as chicken, turkey, and beef. These meats, besides being easy to prepare, provide quality protein that complements vitamin B12's effect. Fish also stand out, especially salmon, trout, and sardines, which combine this nutrient with essential fatty acids that protect the brain. Eggs are another fundamental source. An omelet or boiled eggs are not only simple to prepare, they also provide a considerable dose of B12 and other key nutrients for energy. And of course, dairy, milk, yogurt, and cheese are everyday allies. So what about those who don't consume animal products? There are alternatives, such as fortified foods, plant milks enriched with B12, cereals specially prepared, and some soy or oat-based products. These can be useful resources for those following vegetarian or vegan diets. However, in these cases, it's even more important to monitor blood levels and consider supplementation under medical supervision. Clara's story is a good example of how diet can transform energy. At 71, she had spent months feeling weak and mentally dim. When her doctor suggested reviewing her diet, she realized she ate almost no meat or fish. She started adding fish twice a week and having yogurt with fortified cereals for breakfast. In a few weeks, she noticed the fatigue easing and regained enthusiasm for walking with her friends. To make it practical, think of a typical day. A simple breakfast might include a glass of milk, a yogurt, or a boiled egg with whole grain bread. For dinner, a baked fish portion with vegetables or a spinach omelet can provide the needed vitamin without complications. The key is consistency. Small doses throughout the day that add up to keep the brain nourished. Always remember that vitamin B12 isn't a luxury, it's essential fuel for the mind. And keeping it present at the daily table is one of the simplest ways to protect mental clarity over the years. Supplements and medical care. Although diet is the foundation, there are situations where what's eaten at the table isn't enough. When the deficiency is severe or when the body can no longer absorb the vitamin properly, a doctor may recommend vitamin B12 supplements. These supplements can come as pills or injections. Pills are usually used in mild cases or as prevention, while injections are indicated when a faster, more effective effect is needed, since they allow the vitamin to reach the body directly without going through digestion. However, here we need a very clear warning. We should never self-medicate. Taking supplements without medical control can be useless or even harmful, because not all causes of fatigue or forgetfulness are related to vitamin B12. Only a blood test can confirm deficiency and determine the correct dose. Don Alfredo's experience shows the importance of medical supervision. At 76, he had been taking supplements on his own for some time, convinced they'd help him feel better. However, he noticed no real improvement. When he finally consulted a specialist, he discovered his problem was absorption. Even if he took pills, his body couldn't utilize the vitamin. The doctor prescribed a plan of regular injections, and in a few weeks he began to regain energy and mental clarity. This case teaches that it's not about buying any supplement and waiting for miracles. It's about receiving the right treatment for each situation. In some cases, an oral boost will suffice. In others, a supervised injection plan is needed. And in all cases, medical follow-up is essential to evaluate progress. The key is understanding that vitamin B12 isn't a magic remedy, but an essential nutrient to be handled responsibly. Under proper guidance, it can give lucidity and vitality back to those who have lost it. And with that clarity, daily life becomes much fuller and more meaningful. How to keep a clear mind into your 90s. At this point, we understand vitamin B12's importance, but we can't forget that brain health doesn't depend on a single factor. There are complementary habits which, added to good nutrition, help maintain lucidity even at advanced ages. The first is physical exercise. We're not talking about running marathons, but movements adapted to each person, walking 30 minutes a day, gentle stretches, or practicing Tai Chi. These exercises stimulate circulation, carry oxygen to the brain, and strengthen memory. It's proven that those who remain physically active have a lower risk of cognitive decline. The second is restorative sleep. The importance of sleeping well is often underestimated, but during deep rest, the brain organizes memories, eliminates toxins, and regenerates. An older adult who sleeps 7 to 8 quality hours wakes with a clearer mind and greater energy to face the day. The third habit is socialization. Talking, sharing experiences, listening, and being heard keep neural connections alive. It's not only about company, it's cognitive stimulation. A chat with friends can be as powerful for the brain as a memory exercise. There are inspiring examples of elders who combine these three pillars with a good diet. Doña Elena, 86, meets each morning with a group of friends to walk around the square. When she gets back, she prepares a nutritious breakfast with eggs and fruit. In the afternoon, she rests a while and, at nightfall, meets her family for dinner. Her mind stays lucid not by chance, but because she cultivates a lifestyle that balances body, mind, and spirit. The lesson from these cases is clear. The brain is a living organ that responds to how we treat it each day. And here's a motivating phrase to remember. Your mind can remain your greatest treasure if you nourish it well. Throughout this video, we've traveled a path that began with a symptom as common as a foggy mind and led us to discover the importance of vitamin B12. We've seen what that sensation of confusion really means, how it differs from normal aging, which symptoms are clearest and who is most vulnerable. We also learned what consequences ignoring this deficiency can have and how to detect it in time with a simple blood test. We talked about foods that provide this vitamin, alternatives for those who don't consume animal products, and the need for medical supervision when supplementation is required. Finally, we explored habits which, combined with proper nutrition, help maintain an active, clear mind into very advanced ages. The central message is hopeful. It's never too late to regain mental clarity. Many times, what seems like inevitable decline can be reversed or at least improved with simple measures. With knowledge, prevention, and care, it's possible to age without losing the lucidity that lets us enjoy our memories and the present. Now, I want to invite you to reflect on your own life. Are you caring for your diet? Do you move enough? Do you rest and spend time with your loved ones? Remember that every small step counts. And before saying goodbye, I want to get to know you a little more. Write me in the comments how old you are and where you're watching from. That way I'll know I'm not talking about this alone, but that we are a community learning and growing together. Because in the end, true wisdom isn't in how many years we live, but in the quality of life we build in each one of them.